In WWE, there have been different stipulations of fight throughout all history, from the famous street fight in Hollywood to the eye for an eye fight in Extreme Rules. Well, that's why I won't give any more previews, and now I'll stop talking. Because today, I will present 5 fights that would not currently be done in WWE. Part 1. The Gulf of Mexico fight. This fight took place in Corpus Christi, Texas. And to win it, you had to throw your opponent into the sea, that is, into the Gulf of Mexico. After Chavo Guerrero won the ECW championship, he was attacked by CM Punk dressed as if he were a mariachi. After that, the rivalry between Chavo Guerrero and CM Punk to regain the Extreme Championship Wrestling Championship. It took them to the streets of Corpus Christi, where both wrestlers gave it their all among the cars circulating outside the arena. Until finally reaching the Gulf of Mexico Sea, where finally, CM Punk would end up throwing Chavo Guerrero. This fight is very difficult to take place in these times. Well, WWE wouldn't want to risk 2 of its superstars fighting in the streets as if it's nothing. And much less to contaminate themselves with the water from the Gulf of Mexico. Because Chavo Guerrero himself ended up with a large part of his back covered in several welts. This is due to the contaminated water in that area. Number 4. Sumo wrestling. Many found this sumo wrestling to be quite ridiculous. I don't believe so. It occurred at WrestleMania 21 in 2005. Big Show accepted the challenge from Akebono, a famous sumo who challenged him to compete in a ring, but in his own way and on his own terms, the giant Big Show accepted the challenge. And while he fought well in the match, he ultimately ended up losing to Akebono. While sumo wrestling is a great tradition in Japan, I find that this match would not be repeated in WWE today. Or at least not with that outcome, as WWE has been protecting their superstars for many years now. And we're sure that if that match were to be repeated in these times, the winner would always be the WWE wrestler. Because in this case, the Big Show ended up as the big loser, making him and the company he works for look weak. Number 3. The Kennel from Hell. This fight is quite strange, and the context of this rivalry is equally strange. Well, it came about when Vic Bossman fed Al Snow a dinner with his cooked puppy. Al Snow found out about this and wanted to kill him instantly. That's how at Unforgiven in the year 1999, this first and only Kennel from Hell match, or better known in Spanish as the Hell's Kennel, was created. The match consisted of who could escape the metal structure first. The big difference from this match to a steel cage was that in the area below the ring, several hungry dogs were waiting to eat or bite whatever. In fact, this match became very extreme, and while the dogs did not react so violently, it is considered a total failure in the history of WWE. That's why a match like this would never be repeated in the company. Because while it was expected that the dogs would be rabid, they were the exact opposite. And at no point did they put both fighters in a tight spot. In fact, at the end of the match, they ended up fighting amongst themselves. And by the way, their caretaker fell at the end of the match. To see my entire reaction to this match, I will leave at the end of this video my reaction to the Hell's Kennel number 2. An Inferno match is a special type of match where the ring is completely surrounded by flames. Once both wrestlers have entered it, the only way to win is to set the opponent on fire. Wow, imagine that type of match in these current times. While we've had several segments involving fire, we know there have been special effects to make us believe they were set on fire. Well, in the old school, setting the opponent on fire was real. While no wrestler ever had extreme burns, many said that the fire does feel quite intense on the body. AIM BP, who was once burned in one of these matches, said that his desperation began intensely when the fire took over his body. Thank God the production assistants were ready and willing to immediately end Most Valuable Player's pain, but Most Valuable Player was just one victim of many. The Inferno Match, which it's worth noting the fans loved, but we know that WWE today does not go down those paths. Number 1 God was in WWE. This happened at a time when Shawn Michaels and Vince McMahon did not get along at all. The WWE boss was engaged in making Shawn Michaels' life a living hell. That's why he challenged him to a tag team match where his team partner would be God. Yes, you heard right, God would be Shawn Michaels' team partner. Throughout this rivalry, we experienced segments inside churches. In fact, there was a moment where Vince McMahon was mocking God while dancing. The match was basically a handicap fight for Shawn Michaels. We could say it was a 2-on-1 match. But what we are sure of is that WWE today would not use God to make ironies with his name or figure. Much less in times when the company wants to stay within the margin of respect towards any type of beliefs or positions. But it doesn't end here. Wait for part 2 of this video where there will be fights that you really can't imagine happened and that would be unthinkable today.